Bienvenue sur la chaîne YouTube du journal Le Floridien, la chaîne de référence de la communauté haïtienne de Floride. Nouvelles, reportages, analyses, débats, interviews et autres.
I, because I believe in preparing, reached out to some journalists before I came to you, who have national shows. Only one of them was willing to be quoted. Anybody, she can guess who it is. Roland Martin talked to me last night about you all for about 10 minutes. And I asked him, I said, Roland, what is it that elected officials do over and over again in dealing with the media that is a mistake? What do they do over and over again that they shouldn't do? And give me also the converse. What is it that they don't do that they should? His number one thing that media does, that elected officials do when dealing with media that they should not do, is come on the show to do an interview not knowing the facts. Why, he said, would the reporter ever know more than the elected official who is coming on to provide us the information? And why would they try to slant what they give toward opinion before at least giving the facts? So he said one of the things he always finds himself having to say is, no, Madam Mayor, that's actually not correct. This. Here are the stats. No, Congressman so-and-so. We went, we asked them, they gave us this. Here's the statement. Now, of course, for me, prepare. I'm not sending you out there like lamb to the slaughter, not prepared, trying to lie, ignorant, skewing facts, not giving all the information. But the number one thing he said elected officials do is come on there and know what they're talking about and trying to say things that are not true. The thing that he said on the opposite side of the coin that frustrates him the most is, you do not make yourselves available until it's a crisis. He said, Monique, we're looking for content all the time. We're caring about these stories all the time. He said, for me to say, I don't mean to offend you while saying this, but I'm not really caring about whether it offends you or not. I'm just saying that's what he said. And then he told me to say this. Stop thinking you need white validation from mainstream media to get your message across. ABC, NBC, CBS, MSNBC, CNN, C-SPAN, HLN, they don't give a damn about you. I said it. You are the story that will come today after they 15 times cover some missing documents that nobody cares about, that pays nobody's light bill, that gets nobody a job. They're going to know the whole time that there's a huge energy story and they are going to ignore it. They are going to cover and have been covering since yesterday the gruesome, tragic, horrific, wrongful death of Tyree Nichols. They are going to cover this dead black boy until they bury this story. And they are going to act like that is the only dead black boy that we should be caring about. And they are going to really be excited about it because it's 5 black officers. Why doesn't anybody know? Why? Because you have an opportunity to go to media that is responsive, that does care. You have an opportunity with your strategy to make a list, to cultivate relationships, to send out regular press releases, to seek interviews, to do profiles, to produce your own profiles. Until somebody cares. It is not about for the sake of itself. And I'm not saying you can get on ABC this morning, you don't do it. Of course you do. You can be on Sunday this week, do it. I'll be on some old show tomorrow. Hey, I'll be there. Do it. Do it. But what I am saying also is you have school-run newspapers in your city, in your state that need content. You have digital platforms that need content. You are a content creator yourself. You can have a website in 15 cents flat. You can stick your blog post right there, and then you can send the blog post that you already wrote the way that you wanted to write it, to Roland, to me, to whomever, through your press people, who could be one person, who is sending emails with a constant contact sheet, telling everybody in the world at the same time what is going on in your town, or in your state, or in your territory. So the fact that they don't care is nothing, like I said, remember it's not personal, it is about what drives news ratings. And in order for you to be something that is a driver, you've got to, you gotta find the spot. What is the sweet spot for your local media? What will shake things up on the state level? What can you do as part of your media strategy that will draw coverage? I have worked for the past maybe 8 years with Attorney McCrum. I have consulted any case that you can think of. I've done media strategy and consulting, and I've done police misconduct strategy and consulting, because for 11 years I worked as a lead attorney general in the District of Columbia, and I defended the municipality in police misconduct cases on the civil side. I worked for, as my client, then Chief Chuck Ramsey, who I'm sure you probably see on CNN all the time. He wanted to be police commissioner in Philadelphia, and a very good and decent man who brought some much needed reform in the District of Columbia. But I have seen the underbelly of what these cases look like because I was on the other side of them. And I was settling them before they got in the media. Because I know when I'm working for a municipality, my job is not always to put my mayor in front of a camera. My job, especially in litigation, is to ensure that there is no story to report. So your strategy has to have risk management, crisis management, media avoidance. Loose lips sink ships. If you're an elected official, everybody should know who makes the decision about when to speak to the media. And everybody should know who is appointed to do it. So, for instance, when I was with the District of Columbia Attorney General's office, I could not talk to press. I was a lead litigator, name all over the freaking papers, quotes all over there from stuff I'm saying in the courtroom. But I had no press privilege. We had press designated contacts. Any statement by any member of the government came through the designated contact. For legal matters, that was never the mayor, that was never the deputy mayor, that was never anybody who was on any of the boards or on the council. It was always a communications department. The statements were always vetted. And then they went out. So if you're the elected, don't let nobody send you out there to the slaughter. I don't know, I'm not comfortable with this. No, it's not the time to do it. I'll make a statement, I'm not answering questions. Don't lie.
I know. Give me a second. Pat had her hand up. Okay, you're good, Pat? I'm good. Okay. No, sorry, Patricia. Okay, Hillary, go ahead.
Okay, how do you like focus? Like,
Copy. Présentez nom.
my name is Hillary.
Hillary,
And,
what?
we are federal.
What else? No. It's professionalism, right? So when you're in a space, right, you want to introduce your name so that you're memorable and people can remember you. So your name is Hillary who? Hillary Alcinak.
Yes. And my question is like, how do you focus and like remove distractions and like actually go after your goal?
Very good question for our panelists.
I would say,
go ahead. No, go ahead.
I would say, keep a journal, write things down. Write it down and track it every couple months. And it goes back into, and it's through your lifetime. Even like right now, in my position as commissioner, identifying what I want to accomplish in 2023. And I'm chair of my commission, so I work with 6 other people, so that's 6 other personalities. And so everyone has their idea of what should happen, but as a leader, it's listening, but remembering those things you wrote. So you can include other things, but then like really stick to those things that you've written down. And it goes back to, because this happens as well, people say things about you, people try to influence policy, so they, in our world, the political world, so they come up with things, and you figure out ways to address that and stick to what those things are that you're trying to accomplish, because you've written it down, you remember what those things are, and you track it.
I have something to say towards the response that you've given, because you said journaling everything down. Me personally, I have trouble journaling everything down every day. I'll probably start today and then go back to it for a week. How do you stay consistent with the journaling?
So how do I stay consistent? I mean, so I look back at it. So I don't really, so for instance, I'll say, you know, this is something, you have a plan, right? Or a thing that you want to do. And so you write down what that is, and then you're working towards those goals in the meantime. And then if you forget about it, right, you go back to it, and it's like, just see what you had written and seeing, like, you probably subconsciously have been working towards it and just totally forgot, but it was in your mind that whole time. And so it helps you figure out what it is you want to accomplish in that time period.
I'll add to that and say, so what are you focusing on, right? If the question is, how do you stay focused, what are you focusing on? So if you're saying how do you just stay focused in general, pick whatever your goals are. Let's say you have goals in the area of health and wellness. So you want to work out a certain period, or whatever your goal is to be healthy. Whatever your goal is, you work backwards. You figure out what the plan needs to be. It might be something you need to do every day, like take your medicine. It might be something that you need to just plan out a couple times a week. Whatever it is, you figure out your goal and you work backwards. And then you prioritize, because you're going to have a certain limited amount of time to do things. If anybody, this is a little extra resource, has any questions about how to prioritize and figuring out your time management skills, there's a very short book that I recommend called Eat That Frog. Whenever I'm training little businesses, small businesses on time management, that's one of the books that I recommend. It's called Eat That Frog. There are lots of different techniques that you can use, but I would sum it up like this, not that book, but in general, is to, in a day, there's so many things that you can do. And it doesn't need to be a journal, it could just be a piece of paper, right? And sometimes I can't go to sleep because I'm thinking about all the stuff I'm trying to remember doing. So instead of me trying to remember doing, I just wake up and write them down, right? On something. And I don't need to deal with it right away, but at least it's out of my head, so I don't need to worry about that anymore. Then the next day or the night before, I can go through the list And it's always a long list, because there's always lots of stuff that you need to do, right? But when you think about the stuff that you need to do, you need to be able to separate and prioritize what's most important versus just busy work, versus things that are very time sensitive but not that important, right? So there are lots of categories of things, but once you figure out the things that are most important, that will have the biggest impact on your life, that will have the biggest ability to help you reach or keep you from reaching your goals, you need to prioritize those things, right? And if it's not in a journal, you can put it in your calendar. When I was younger, I didn't need to put everything in a calendar. I could kind of sort of remember things. Now I can't even pretend like it needs to be in my calendar for me to remember. And I schedule times, and I schedule backup times just in case I didn't get to do it on the time that I meant to. So again, to recap, you figure out what the goal is, break down the steps to get you there, right? So let's say one of my goals is to give myself more breaks throughout the day, right? I need to literally schedule it in, and I treat it like one of my most important clients. Because as women in particular, there's a lot of females in the room today, we tend to care of everybody else before us. Everybody else takes precedent, and then we maybe get something after, if we get something at all, right? So schedule in whatever time you need, even if it's just 15 minutes between stuff, right? In the morning, at night, before you pick up your phone and you start scrolling, before you start answering email, before you start answering text messages, take a moment and figure out and set your intentions for that day. What do I need to accomplish today? What would I like to accomplish that day? And guess what? You can literally change the course of your entire life by just planning it and executing it. And give yourself grace. If you don't do it every single day, it's okay, right? The point is just to help you get to the goal, not to add another thing to stress you out. So figure out what your goal is, break it down into steps, and then work backwards. Schedule out the steps, and then execute, right? And you might need time to collaborate or whatever, and you build in more things. I'll share some of mine, for example. Right now I'm working through what I used to do on New Year's Eve, but I'm working through a little bit more systematically. I'm working in areas of intellectual development, some books I'm trying to read or listen to audiobooks when I'm too busy and I can't sit down and read. I'm working through some physical health goals, right? Making sure I get physical therapy, trying to sneak in massages, and trying to sneak in, guess what? Naps, right? I'm scheduling in naps for myself. So little things that may not be a big deal to other people, but I realize they make a difference for me, right?
You cannot be shy when you want to be an elected official, or you need to lock people in from the beginning. Let them know. Mayor Pierre, is that true? Yep. We have the great mayor of North Miami, former mayor, Yes, so thank you so much. Hey, you laid the path for all of us to be here. So thank you. Now, y'all know what this session is about how to run a campaign and win. So let's get started, okay? Let's just dive right into it by starting with Marlene Bassier, actually, to tell us what has motivated you to run for office, first of all. And make that one short and sweet, because we have the question to ask so people can really understand what it takes to run a campaign and win. What has motivated you to run for office, Ms. Bassier?
Good afternoon, all. You are having a great time so far? Yeah. Please give it up for Vice Mayor and the whole team of NHAEON for a great conference. And thank you so much, Madam Chair. Well, you facilitated, so you're the chair. What motivated me? As you know, for the past 41 years, I've been very active in Miami, not only as a paralegal, but also as an advocate, as an organizer. Most of you know me as an organizer. And believe it or not, during the campaign, it was not such a good thing for those of you who are from Miami. But so after 41 years, and after I realized that Commissioner Moni's team, who was a great supporter of me during my campaign, was going to be dropped out. That's number one. And then I realized that after 41 years of serving the community, and then advocating for the rights of women, of children, of workers, of all the residents, and organizing locally, statewide, and nationally, I realized that it could be a good opportunity for me to put all the skill sets that I've acquired, to help the greater good, the greater number of people. So I thought I could make a difference. After 41 years on the ground, non-stop on the ground, I thought that I could make a difference. That's what motivated me. I spoke to my family first, and then to some of you who are in the room. But that's not the question. What motivated me is the fact that I always had a great passion for my community, and I've been active. I've been on the ground non-stop for 41 years, and I wanted to really serve at a greater level.
Thank you, Ms. Bassett. Great answer. Great answer, because we know anyone who wants to run for office, you have something that has motivated you, that pushed you, that say, I need to be at the table in order to make a difference. So I appreciate the response, and I'm going to turn. I'm not going to go one by one. I am going to really switch the gear by asking Dr. Clergy to tell us a little bit about her experience on the campaign trail. We know running a campaign is tell you the truth, this is my second term in office, and it's not easy when you're running a campaign. Any one of us can attest to it. Commissioner Donnie Felix, you can attest to that. How much it takes for us to really run on the campaign trail. So tell us about your experience, so they can hear and know exactly what it takes when you are on the campaign trail.
Bonsoir tout le monde.
Bonsoir.
Any one of us is not Haitian and doesn't speak Creole in here? Ok, so nous allons parler créole. Non, pas M. Natacha Clerget, c'est un plaisir pour nous aujourd'hui avec vous, mesdames et ce panel-là. Je vais me flatter. Qui ça t'a motivé pour moi? C'est un hasard. T'es un radio show, un télévision show, et puis on cancel pour lui dans Town Randolph, Massachusetts. Et puis c'était un black counselor, un garçon noir. And I have somebody, one of the counselors, que j'ai interviewé, j'ai invité dans la Haitian community, qui parle haïtien. Et puis il me dit, hey Natasha, on connaît counselor Paul Fernandez Louis, we're looking for like a black male to replace him. Because we're looking for somebody to replace him, we don't want to lose the black seat. Et puis il me dit, okay, so je vais réfléchir, puis je vais get back to you. Il dit, non, nous 3 mois seulement, on top of your head, dis-moi rapidement qui est-ce qui est dans tête ou pour faire confiance, pour trust. We're looking for a strong black male who's que la communauté a trust. Il dit, the only strong black male que we trust, que we can faire confiance, c'est le Natacha Clerget. Because it's specified, it's a black male. And then, les dit, petit ça, ou toujours à faire blague, tout ça on dit sérieux, et just so you know, although I'm always joking around, I'm always smiling, I'm always serious. Parce que rien pour jouer. So, il dit, pour toujours faire jouer tout-même. Et puis, il rapprochait sur moi parce que il vexait. I'm like, oh, that's something you don't never dare, Natasha Clerget. Demain matin, pour le jour, descendre dans ta route, pour le my papers, et puis, décider que vous allez rendre. Monsieur find out na fin journée, il dit, oh, you were serious. I'm like, yes. If you're so serious, because nous avons 2 mails que nous allons considérer, we have no meeting Friday, et puis now think about it. Guys, nous connaissons Haïtien, et combien de gens qui sont dans le sud là? Nous connaissons, nous connaissons dans le sud par jouer. So I showed up to the meeting, dressed like a counselor, with get a design flyer, vin avec un symbol of my yard sale que je design myself. Que je vais corriger un peu, mais en tout cas, I was the most prepared person in the room for the position. Thank you.
Wow. Did you all hear that? Vous avez entendu? Commencez par notre tout le monde vous dit qu'il y a besoin de vous.
First impression is the lasting impression.
All right, that was very impressive. Even though some people might not want to run for office, Écoutez bien parce que vous avez aidé l'autre monde qui voulait pour la run pour office. Et ça très très important. Now, let me start with you, Commissioner Romelis. What should a candidate do before filing for office? This is a very important question. We know we want to run for office. Everybody aspiring, most people aspire to go to office. So what should they do to get started?
Sure. So first I'll answer with some of the things that I did. I'm a woman of God, so I prayed. That's the first thing I did. The second thing the second thing I did was talk to my family, predominantly my husband. At the time that I chose to run, I had a 2-year-old and I was pregnant with my second on the way. So it was not going to be an easy task to decide to run for office. I think as women, one of the first things that we tend to do is we count ourselves out of it before anybody else can. We already say, no, not for me. And I was very quick to say that. But getting the support and the push from others who said, no, Christina, you're the right person. This is the right time. Who else but you? Go. And so with every month of the campaign, my stomach was also progressing as well. And it really took my husband and the people who had my back to really back me up, to really allow for me to do this. So running a campaign is not a solo thing. You don't do it by yourself. You don't get to the finish line on your own. You have to have a team. You have to have people who will support you. You have to have people who will pick you up when you feel like just, why am I even doing this? Why am I bothering? You have to have those people. And if they believe in you a little bit more than you even believe in yourself, that helps too. Because when I ran for office, I was 26 years old. I had no business being in politics, but yet I went because I had a passion and a drive to improve my community. And I also had people who saw the potential in me, even though I couldn't necessarily see it at that time. So even if you don't necessarily believe in yourself at this point in time right now, or you don't feel like you're the most qualified or you're the best person to sit in that position, run anyway. It doesn't matter. You don't have to have a master's in political science. You just need to care about your community and you want to make a difference, you want to make a change. Run.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you, and I agree with you. One thing that I want to, I know I'm the moderator, but one thing that I would add to what she just said, she said some very good things. What do you do first before you start running for office? Your family is the most critical piece before you run for office, and I would tell you that, and I think we all would agree that your family is the person that you need to talk first because you need that support. That's the backbone. Isn't that true, Mrs. Andre-Pierre? I know you know that's true because usually the spouse or the significant other, they really have to handle a lot because you don't have any time for yourself. And I would say also that when you're thinking about running for office, guess what? It doesn't start tomorrow or it doesn't start a week from now. It started from way before because a lot of things that you are doing, you might not see it, but that's building a platform for you to run for office. Now, Councilwoman German, can you add anything to what Councilwoman Romelis just mentioned? Commissioner, right? Commissioner Romelis just mentioned.
Definitely. Hello everybody, my name is Anis Germain. What I want to add is about the family thing, because I want to say hi to my husband right here. He's my photographer. Okay, so I have to get my husband when I get home. He's not here with me today. Yes, so you cannot do it alone. Like your family has to be the forefront. It's a decision that has to take with your family. And then I remember like last year, so many dinners that I could not make. Missing the table, your children, your husband, all those obligations. It's a sacrifice that has to be, thought of with your family. Otherwise, you go into burnout. And when you burn out, if you do not have the support system, it's gonna go. You're gonna be depressed. And that's I am so lucky to say that my husband here, he is my hero, my cheerleader, and my yes, and he's my coach, he's my team, he's my press, he's my everything. So my everything, yes. So first, have a good relationship, has a family system, and then have your pitch, as Mrs. Presley says, have your passion, because you cannot go there if you do not know what you're going to talk about. You need to know what you're going to defend. And you know when you get there, your message aligns with your values, and then you know what you're talking about, you got your system, and then you go.
Thank you so much.
And we have to be comfortable, even if it's a person who's younger than you, that you're saying, hey, look, Katya, I don't know. That's okay. I've been doing this since college, so I'm going to know. And it's okay to go to someone. It's okay we gotta learn how to ask for help. And the sense of building wealth, again, my thing is about economic growth. I've recently been named the CEO of a government contracting company, so I'm starting to get away from lobbying. No, there's a point here. As a person who now is in control of making multi-million-dollar deals and partnering with people, I make sure that the white boys also bring in other small minority companies. If I'm working with a huge company and I'm what they call a sub, I'm not okay with just being the only sub. There's another person who can do community outreach. There's someone else who can come in and do a plethora of things. There's more than one way for us to get into the business of governing. And maybe next year we'll talk about that. And I mean, we have some experts in the room about the business of governing. Ms. Maggie Austin, who used to be in charge of the NWBE program in the city of New York, which is massive. So let's start, we can think outside of the box. Being a nurse is amazing. It's what fed me my whole life. Come on. My dad is a taxi cab driver. So understand, I do not stub my nose at these occupations. They made me. They took me to college. My daddy gave me tuition money in a bag, a paper bag with money, with cash, okay? So, but there is such a thing as elevation and growth. There is such a thing as we are no longer a community that is struggling or surviving. We want to transition into a community that is thriving. So I think that's a great segue. We are at our time and capacity. We had so much to do, and I think we accomplished a lot of it. But what we want you guys to take away from this, there is governing, and then there's the business of governing, and there's the ability to empower people on all levels of government. This is a systematic thing. And now that we've been able to get ourselves elected, we've been able to build communities, it's time for us to now coalesce that power so that we can be powerful and we can be economically stable in this country so that we can make demands for our country back home. So, scan the barcode for your tips on how to lobby. Everyone's contact information is there. Thank you guys for your time.
But I'm asking you guys, be in charge. Take charge. Because not nous même parce que même pas Washington. Si des cas de parler. Même bien pression si nous même c'est un groupe NHAEON, moun qui représente nos elected officials. Te calé. You got to plead on our behalf.
Très bien. Moi c'est ça me tendait dans son dire, c'est que pour qu'on suivi le travail qu'a fait là, et pas Arizona, parce qu'on a dit c'est TPS qui était priorité, qui était soutenu dans Arizona, et je pense que dans le travail qui fait sur TPS là, je ne connais pas, et pas connais, même moi que moi pile mouvement sur TPS là, et pour le lien là, j'en dis là, vous pensez que ça qui sorti ici là, pas de gagner, on suivi action qui fait là-dedans, et NHAEON needs to step up and take charge. We can't force people, unfortunately, right? Because I think at the end of the day, nous tous, Mon l'autre principe que moi-même j'ai gagné, et m'espérer que moi je partager, parce que c'est pas partager la partager. Nous tous, René Haïti, façon pas. Nous tous engagés nous en Haïti, façon pas. Et pour la vérité, il y a un pile dans nous qui là, c'est quelque part, madame a toujours dit qu'elle est son monde fou, parce que tellement prend déception, pas ta fait non. Et m'a dit que en 2020, l'homme tourné sur Haïti, je me fais une dépression tout petit, je travaille sur Haïti. Donc si tu es pour réunion en 2020, je ne suis pas venu, mais je vais parler de Haïti. Donc je ne suis pas pour côté santé mentale en mon lié. I want us to start from a place of grace. I want to, and you know, we would want everybody to be on board. We live in a beautiful country here that is 50-50 divided. We can't all of a sudden, because we're Haitian, expect 100%.
Agree.
If we have 30, let's move with 30. C'est pas un jugement, non, c'est juste, I'm just making a simple observation. I want to start with those who want to start with. And so, and your observation is right. It is a fact, and I don't judge it as good or bad. I just want to react to sort of say, people are where they are, because that's where they are. But those who are here, let's focus on those who are here who are interested in this. Yes.
Bonjour tout le monde. Moi-même, moi quitté Haïti très jeune. Moi j'étais à Haïti en 2016, moi voyagé en Haïti parce que moi suis jeune. Mais là, quand je suis Haïti, moi j'ai tonton moi. Là, quand je suis Haïti, je réfléchis avec l'éducation parce que c'est very dangerous. Je vais regarder les petits gens en Haïti, je vais demander qui côté l'éducation si vous avez parce que l'école va vraiment ouvrir en Haïti. Parce que pas de sécurité. Et nous changeons les 10 gens qui étaient passés, nous changeons dans la Coupe-Boucline, nous changeons un paquet d'organisations qui font un paquet d'activités pour le pays d'Haïti. Mais je me demande qui côté jeunesse pour les si je veux. Parce que l'homme d'après en Haïti, c'est l'éducation de connaître. Mais je dis à qui ça nous offre un petit moun. Parce que moi-même, je travaille dans l'éducation. Quand la vie un petit moun pour moi qui te pour un petit moun, son crayon. Nous changeons les grands-pères pour mourir, ils te les tout petits lios, ils ne nous chaque non plus. Ils disent non, ils ne font pas non ça. Ma ballon en crayon, nous va traverser le monde entier. Et chaque petit grand-père nous va battre. So, nous-mêmes parents, je ne dis pas, qui ça? Moi-même, je ne pas de petit monde, je ne pas de petit monde, même dans l'éducation. Mais vous-même qui suis là, comme maman, comme papa, qui ça? Vous avez quitter pour si vous avez Haïti. Parce que là, on a regardé, hier, on a entendu le programme, il y a qui depuis 1999, ou 1989, qui c'est depuis TPS. Mais tout le monde, tout qui est parti dans l'élection, qui ça nous chita pour nous réfléchir avec ça qui est? Dis-moi.
I'm sorry, ladies, you cannot do that. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
So, a piece moi-même, je me garde en bas, je mettais un chapeau organisateur avec moi. Et, concernant comme toujours gagné, en plus, par nous dire que nous aimons Haïti. Haïti, c'est un morceau terrier. Nous ne pouvons pas aimer Haïti sans nous pas aimer Haïtien. Parce que terre n'a pas fait moun, c'est moun qui fait terre. So, en pile fois, les nous disons comme ça que et nous chitons dans un room, nous avons fait une session, nous avons pensé, nous étions de penseurs. Mais combien de fois vraiment nous chitons dans la salle pour qui ça plaît? Combien de fois nous-mêmes qui campons là ensemble, qui disons ça que c'est sécurité. Ça sécurité à représenter pour Mounsa qui chaque jour qui impacte par la sécurité. Nous-mêmes, nous sommes là bien encadrés, nous avons parlé de sécurité, nous avons parlé de finance, nous pouvons parler de pareil ça, mais est-ce que nous avons vraiment pour nous parler avec grâce pour nous demander qui ça qui est primordial pour numéro 1, numéro 2, numéro 3. Merci.
Merci. Yes.
Thank you. Hi everyone. Rich Legion at Large City Council in Boston. My pale on but anyway, you translate. I just want to elevate some of the things that came up in our roundtable discussion in Boston. 2 points. One is that we're not starting from ground zero. That there are a lot of plans, and I don't know whose responsibility that is as an elected official, especially as a newly elected official. I put my trust in NHAEON to really be doing that organizing work to bring us all together. But I really hope that we understand that we often use the word start, but it's not a start because we've been working on this for so long. Yeah. There are plans that came out in 2010, and so I hope that we are doing the work of also, all right, we know that security is a major issue. How are we looking at the plans that exist? Second, and I think this goes to the point, Kisa Ofegdi, we are working in partnership, deep partnership with civil society in Haiti. These ideas don't just come from us. They're in deep partnership with what people are saying on the ground, and I respect NHAEON a lot for that. Yeah. When we were in DC for the Congressional Black Caucus, we met with the Haitian activists who came to testify before the Foreign Affairs Committee, and we are taking their cues from them. I am taking their cues from them when I'm talking to the Boston delegation about what our needs and priorities are, and that's what we need to do.
So very good.
So can I just ask a question that made me feel left? I'm so sorry. But so from Connecticut, I just have a quick question, and this is for all of our wants. It's a leveraging ploy that I'm asking NHAEON to do. The Haitian community is part of the Black diaspora, the Black diaspora, right? There's a lot of money going to that. How do we leverage ourselves and say we're not only the first free community in this Latino community that they keep looking for, or they keep sponsoring too? Because we have to understand what these parties are currently going to, because they're trying to get a vote, period, right? So that being said, I just want to know, whether it be education, security, whatever, how do we leverage our position in funding to then support and push whatever we decide to go with? That's my question.
Monsieur, et puis après ça, c'est Commissioner.
Ok, Monsieur le magistrat, sans subordonner, donc parler de commerce et c'est pas ça qu'on voit, parce que nous devons essayer le président ici côté bien, c'est pas pareil pour les jeunes. Mais insécurité, qui est ainsi pour les jeunes garçons, mais insécurité, il n'y a pas d'insécurité alimentaire, tout, il n'y a pas de production des armes. Haïti, le peuple connaît Haïti par contre des armes. Si nous devons vraiment essayer de parler avec nous, nous permettre que les armes rentrent dans le pays, tout pays, et qui permet que les jeunes haïtiens quittent dans leur pays, et ma vie n'a vie par n'importe quelle insécurité. C'est l'insécurité, ils commencent avec, parce que nous n'avons pas de travail, pas de manger, nous n'avons pas de travail, pas de manger, donc mettre une sorte Haïti, oui, c'est une insécurité, ça, mais insécurité pas marcher sans justice.
20 seconds, Mayor.
Et puis, on va parler de monde, et puis, maintenant, plusieurs pays encore, qui est responsable? Il faut nous travailler avec tout le monde, avec les partenaires internationaux, résoudre le problème, ça, finalement, que nous sommes capables de commencer Merci.
Merci.
John, can you remind us of the prompt for this session, please? The prompt, what are we responding to?
Very good.
So, what?
Good job.
So what we try to do, we went through the process and we've identified these priorities. We want folks to kind of look at these and say, what are the things that they think could be the first thing that we focus on? And I think so far, I'm hearing a lot on security, right? I'm hearing, even though it's expanded to include economic development, to include governance, Please also talked about security, which includes the economy. It includes housing. So security is not simply homeland security, right? But it's food. So I think, and I think I just heard the same thing. Yes. So I think what we're trying to get is to make sure that when we say security, if security ends up being the thing that we say, that could be one thing that we galvanize around. What are we talking about? That's what we're trying to get, and we want an opportunity for folks to say it. Right? Because I don't want to walk out of here, I don't want anybody else to walk out of here thinking we're going to charge, and that's our last step will be, who's the person who talked about we need to go move to action, follow up, Mia needs to take charge. How do we do this after this meeting to ensure that there's the follow-up? There's going to be a resolution for that. I'm going to ask all of you here. But before we get to that, we need to make sure that we're using the same vocabulary. Et par contre, mes questions là.
Bonsoir tout le monde. Bonsoir. Et Johnny me songeait, pas songeait exactement combien d'années de ça, mais je pense que ça me vient plus qu'à 50 ans. On a eu une expérience parce que l'on a science à l'affaire là, je tiens. On a évalué pour le d'Haïti et puis chercher solution. Et le problème, moi, ouais, avec les gens de CSAO, c'est que on va m'adresser la cible problème. Et moi, je suis un social worker licencié, bon précepte dans social work critique, il faut commencer contre la guerre. You start where you are. Qui côté non y le fait est que, pas besoin de qui programme gagne, qui projet sécurité au gagne, tout le temps, politique étrangère, dans une série de pays qui représentent les JE n'a pas changé vis-à-vis Haïti, pas besoin de prendre bien séance ou gagner, pas besoin de prendre des conférences ou gagner, pas bien rien qui a changé.
15 seconds,
donc, ça va demander ce qui s'appelle un fait. C'est deux choses l'une. C'est ou bien donc une capacité pour nous faire une révolution, pour nous mettre tout le monde qui a contribué à empirer et créer des conditions dans le pays d'Haïti qui le pays n'a pas arrivé dans le pays, et ou bien nous négocier avec les pays qui ont commencé par les États-Unis. Et je pense que si gagnons une entité qui a engagé dans la conversation ça avec les États-Unis qui sont médecins, pour comment ils ont changer politique étrangère pour permettre Haïti de développer, eh bien, c'est pour continuer à laver mes sièges.
Et vous voulez réitérer ça que le commissaire dit, c'est justement ça. Ça, on dit, c'est en termes de principe de base. Je vais commencer peut-être pour tourner. Si vous croyez, en tant qu'Haïsyen-Amériken, vous pouvez faire un bagage qui s'allie. Bagage là, c'est vous pouvez utiliser WOW comme un monde qui va voter pour influencer le gouvernement, qui c'est le gouvernement américain. Que vous connaissez qui gagne en pile poids de ça qui a passé à Haïti. L'on fait plaidoirie ou bien lobbying, ou capable de faire plaidoirie ou bien lobbying pour un bon bagage. Vous dites, faites plus bagage ça, ou bien, un mauvais bagage, vous dites, faites moins bagage ça. Et je pense que ça, comme je dit là, c'est que bon politique, pays États-Unis gagnent envers Haïti, qui nocif, qui pas bon. Pour une question qu'on va demander tout, qui ça m'a fait? Si, comme Haïsyen-Amériken, vous reconnaissez que c'est ça le problème, non, qui gens on va utiliser wow pour faire Américain connaître qui c'est we all, je ne vais pas dire we all, je ne connais pas même là qui est Haïsyen-Américain, mais pour ça qui est Haïsyen-Américain qui a voté, pour faire connaître que ou pas content à ça qu'a fait là, il faut que la politique publique ça a changé. Son principe de base dans sa affaire. Donc, you have to fundamentally believe that advocacy is the approach. It's what you can do as a citizen, and you can ask either, for example, do more of investment in healthcare and education, do less in putting government in place in Haiti or running the country on our behalf, right? So I don't know what that is. You are a commissioner.
Le secrétaire Mayorkas, dernière fois qu'il a dit Haïti, et 18 mois de cela, pareil. Et il devait parler de plan président Biden gagné pour aider après le deuxième tremblement de terre. Je dis, secrétaire Mayorkas, et nous apprécions, nous nous merci pour 20 millions Biden voulait investir dans le pays d'Haïti. Mais le premier bagage qu'on fait, c'est voir comment on a établi sécurité en Haïti, parce que la majorité des gros armes lourdes qui sont dans le pays, toutes ces noms aux États-Unis sont sortis, en particulier Floride. Il est d'accord avec moi, il est d'accord avec moi. Donc, nous réalisons que n'importe ça nous fait est important pour nos champs, pour politique étrangère, États-Unis, Haïti. Et d'ailleurs, la garantie, c'est question de la ligne. La ligne, il y a là, la ligne, c'est l'État qui prend toute décision dans le pays d'Haïti. Donc, ça fait me dire, moi-même, Johnny, ça fait me dire, ça fait me dire, il est important pour nous aller dans la racine problème dans les amis. Parce que tout ça, c'est utile si on va réellement changer la racine problème pour un pays qui représente qui est blanc, Canada, Haïti, l'Angleterre, qui a développé l'implémentation de politique, et qui va beaucoup pays. Comment on va changer ça?
Okay, I just want to make sure that I just want to beg your forgiveness. I know these conversations are important and we wanted to have it. We started a bit late. Ma possible monsieur et the chairwoman to understand how much, because I want us to
c'est deux communautés qui disent. Les mots que base problème de l'Haïti, c'est une force de gouvernance. Si pas une gouvernance, pas de sécurité. Si pas une gouvernance, pas d'économique développement. Si pas une gouvernance, pas d'éducation. Nous connaissons que faillite d'Haïti pour bien, il y a des types de gouvernance, manque de gouvernance, ou bien poor governance, or lack of governance. Nous d'accord. Ok, et pas ça va commencer depuis Bounia, ça va commencer depuis longtemps. Ok, donc Bounia là, nous vivons dans tout ça, dans tout système de Haïti, législature, présidentielle, exécutif, nous vivons là-dedans. Ok, donc Bounia nous prenons gagner opportunité comme Diaspora, comme NHAEON, pour nous décider qui gens nous allons aider dans d'autres phases. Nous connaissons Bounia là, nous avons un gouvernement qui est en place, nous avons un système qui est en place. Et pouvoir c'est pour la faire, ça le mandat pour faire la élection. Ok, est-ce que pour y là, nous-mêmes comme Diaspora, nous-mêmes comme organisation, nous pourrons essayer de prendre qui est ce monde qui aspire pour venir élu en Haïti pour y aller. Est-ce que ce n'est pas droit nous pour faire rentrer ici pour y aller, pour nous former, pour nous avoir un meilleur leader, pour nous arriver dans le point où nous avons une sécurité, pour nous avons un développement économique et nous avons une éducation. Merci.
At this retreat alone, we have over 75 of you in person attending. Please give yourself a big round of applause. For those of you who always wondered, how do you become a member? I wanted to tell you have to be an elected from school board and up, appointed judge or elected judge, in order for you to be part of this organization. And we are a 501c3 non-partisan organization. We look at different issues when it comes affecting our constituents, especially the Ayisyen-Ameriken, and to work together for the betterment of our community. This retreat, as we come together, we know this is the beginning. Keeping us together, we know that it's progress. And then we're gonna continue to work together. That's gonna be the success, as Henry Ford stated. Without any further ado, I'm going to let our immediate past chair to say a few words.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much, Madam Chairwoman. It's indeed a pleasure and an honor for me to be here. I will not take a lot of time because I know we have a panel, and I think you did such an amazing job, Madam Chair. But you are right. We are standing in the shoulders of many giants, and NHAEON actually started with a conversation, the national group, and then we have the Florida presidents, which I worked under former Mayor Andre Pierre and former County Commissioner Jean Monet's team at the Florida level, which we gained recognition from the national group. But our wonderful state representative from the state of Massachusetts started a conversation, and at that time, as you know, our beloved country, always something is going wrong, and I had just got elected as city clerk in 2009. And if you could remember what happened in 2008, we fiercely fought for the first black president of the United States. So we knew we had a little bit of capital, and Marie and I, when we started the conversation, we thought that whatever that was going on in Haiti, and I don't think none of us remembered exactly what was the situation, but it was a situation that required us to reach out to someone higher than us. And with all the contacts and everything, a group of folks, we knew that we were doing good in Florida because we had a lot of previous folks that was elected. We had the first Ayisyen-Ameriken mayor that was elected, Philippe DeWoods, and then we have José Listin, who is here with us, et cetera, and other electeds. And then we find out there were some folks in New York, Spring Valley particularly, and of course in New York, the growing population, and we started it in New Jersey. And I'm gonna go ahead and stop there and let our first visionary who understood the importance until this day and throughout my chairmanship, I called her midnight, 2 a.m., 4 a.m., talking and strategize, how do we get the community, not Florida, not New York, everybody together to rise to form a community that could strengthen the ties between the U.S. and Haiti. And now it is with honor and respect, one of the people why I'm here, my mentor, my good friend, for me to introduce the first chairwoman of the Haitian-American Elected Official Network, and how the first president kind of told us we needed to do this, and a lot of people don't know part of that conversation. The first president of the United States, the first black president of the United States, Barack Obama, kind of got us going in the right direction, and that was all with the leadership of Ayisyen-Ameriken.
Hello. Well, this is Linda. This is quite an honor to be able to be with you this afternoon. You know, this was unanticipated, so I want to thank Charnette for inviting me, and as well to reach out to my colleague Linda Dorsina-Fori, as well as the newest member of our, in our state, Councilwoman Weehawken. And I know that Mutsi is there. She's the first Haitian American to be elected citywide in the city of Boston, and we're very proud of her. You know, and, I want to say thank you because history is important. You know, back in 1999, I gotta say in 1990, end of 98, I was approached by a woman who Linda and I were very close with, who invited me to run for office, because I never thought that I would run for office. And when I was elected in June or July of 1999, learned that, at that point, learned that I was the first Haitian American elected to a state office. But we've got to give kudos to the people who came before us, because there was Jacques Despinos in Florida at the time who led the way, and actually he was one of the electeds that I call at the time. Now, fast forward, it was 2009, I wanted to leave office. And I was done. We had been having conversations with a number of members of Haitian Americans across the country at the time. And Alex, honestly, is the one who helped put me in touch with so many of the Haitian electeds. And at the time, we were less than a dozen. I think there was about 10 of us that were elected in elected office at the time. And it was not simply state, it was as well as municipal. We had not gone down to the school committees at the time. And so we were talking about how we were going to be able to lift our voices together in order to have greater impact. And what was most important, and I think it was Alex who put me in touch with the judge, now the judge, Mr. Yonel Jean-Baptiste. And Lionel was part of it, and then he put me in touch with Mr. Champagne. We had done something in Massachusetts prior to this called Working with the Trotter Institute, and at the time, Alex Cantave was the assistant director. And we had done something called the State of Haitian Americans in Massachusetts. And Linda had come into office, and together we wanted to understand, and I see Professor Prue here, who was also part of that work, for us to understand where we were in Massachusetts as Haitian Americans, what the challenges that we were facing, and how we can better influence the government of Massachusetts to have better outcomes for the people in our state. And so that actually was the foreshadow to the conversation with Alex to figure out nationally what could we do, because we did not have a national elected person in office at that time. And so we started organizing ourselves, not understanding that less than 8 to 10 months later that there would be this terrible earthquake in Haiti. But what was important is that we had been in conversations with each other. We had had a process, meeting together on a monthly basis, connecting and understanding what our challenges were. And we were in a position of trust with each other to be able to make decisions going forward. One of the things that was critical for me for this organization, because I don't care to own anything, I just like to go and move on, was that one, that leadership for me is not whether or not you can hold on to it, but whether or not you can let it go. And the other thing that was important for me to understand about leadership is that it was not about us, but if you call to serve, it's about the people. And so I am privileged in my life, and so I can't judge what people need, but what it is that's happening in my life. I need to listen to the people who are actually being impacted so they can inform what we're doing. The third premise that we had focused on was so important was that we are Haitian Americans. I had not been to Haiti at the time that I was having this conversation with them. So how could I be telling people in Haiti what to do, how to do it, and when to do it? So it was really important that we stood in our lane, that we were Haitian Americans, and that what we could influence. And what we could influence was what our government can do, and that was the government of the United States, the various branches, and how we can lend that. And what I beg this organization to continue to do is to stay in that lane. And so I'm so appreciative that the leadership that has followed, that have continued to do that, and every administration have their own priorities, and they bring their own lens to management. And I want to say thank you to each and every one of you for the work that you continue to do. I feel like the old woman who comes to the dance and meeting all these amazing young people. And Charnette, thank you for taking it on, because I know that when I had it, had 3 children who are now, I call them emancipated, thank God. They're all emancipated and doing really well, but when you're doing this work, you have your own responsibilities in your own district. You have your relationships with your own family that you have to maintain, and then you have to try to herd all of us to make things happen. I have been out of the picture, honestly, for at least 4 years now, and to come back and to see what you all have accomplished, I say thank you. I say thank you in particular to Champagne, who took it on after I said goodbye, and to Alex, it is your name who continued to do it. And I want to say thank you to Alex Cantave, because data matters, research matters, and we need to do work that is steeped in fact and not simply in emotion. Thank you.
Two, but now we have only one Haitian Attorney General, and he represents the state of Illinois, Kwame Raoul. And before that, he had another Haitian brother who represented the District of Columbia, but he just decided to step down, and that is my very good friend Carl Racine, who mentored me. And we've got a new Attorney General in Massachusetts who I am mentoring, Attorney General Campbell, who's doing an amazing job. And we've got a new Black Attorney General in Maryland, Attorney General Campbell, and we've got an African American Attorney General in Minnesota. His name is Keith Ellison, and we've got an African American are growing, and so it's really critically important that all of us recognize the progress that we have made. But we all saw the video last night, and we all know that we've got much more progress to do. And although we all sit here and there are those out at the table who sit and we've got all of these titles, it's important that everyone understand that regardless of the title that you hold, that you must never, ever accept the culture of those in positions of power and ignore the people who put you in a position of power. Never. And that people died for your right to be in this position of power. So it's important that we, as people of the African ancestry, that we always upset the comfortable and always stand with the uncomfortable in this nation. And that is the lesson. So it broke my heart when I saw that video, because it could have been my child, my nephew. And no mother, that child was yards away from his mother, and he called out to his mother. 5 black police officers who had the audacity to call him brother while they beat him to death. I am outraged. I hope all of you are outraged as well. And let us join together and pray for that family and pray for Memphis and pray for our country. But all of those who want to be police officers, and we should be police officers, but we must also understand that we are there to serve the people and not to be served. I want to thank all of my colleagues in New York. New York, where you at? Make some noise. You're always the loudest. And I want to thank the board, and I hope that our next conference is in North Miami. Again, I want to thank all of the hosts. I want to thank the chair. You are the largest coalition of Haitian-American elected officials in the United States, and you should be proud of that. You have been instrumental in empowering and advocating and engaging your community around issues that matter most to us and raising the visibility of Haiti in the consciousness of all Americans and African Americans in particular. And it helps us to understand how long our historical relationship with Haiti has been. And I won't be before you long, so if you will I just need a few minutes of your attention, so if you could just draw near, as they say in church. Thank you so much, but I won't be long, because I know I stand between you and dessert, so I won't be long. The responsibility we have is to ensure the safety and success of the Haitian people on these shores and in Haiti as well. The responsibility of standing together to support one another is so critically important, because we all recognize that we all, again, are children of the African ancestry. And no ocean will separate us, that we really are one.
That's right.
And over the past few years, the Haitian people have endured so much pain and so much suffering. Earthquakes that have devastated the island and claimed far too many lives. I've been to too many memorials in Brooklyn and beyond in upstate New York, again, in memory of all of those who lost their lives. The shocking assassination of a president, which left the country in even greater turmoil. And the poverty and the lack of access to food and aid in the aftermath of these catastrophes is something we must be greatly concerned about. But not only must we be concerned about, we must do something about it, right? All Americans, regardless of your race, should deeply be concerned by the continued deterioration of the security and human rights situation in Haiti. All of us should be concerned. The violence and insecurity that only further entrench and exasperate the vulnerabilities of the Haitian people. But Haiti shall not be defined by these conditions, because it is the resilience of the Haitian people that define them. It is the history of their struggle and the power of their faith that will lead them forward and move them forward into progress and to promise. As a Black elected official in this country, I feel an even greater responsibility to stand with all of you as you pursue the liberation and stability of your homeland. This is a time when we are reminded of our common ancestry, and more fundamentally, the common humanity we share as a people with just a few hundred miles of ocean between us, and a long history that binds us together. Closer to home, New York is proud to be home to such a large and vibrant Haitian community. And I might add, Brooklyn is home to the largest. Where's Brooklyn at? The culture. As the Assembly member mentioned, medicine, doctors, lawyers, engineers, educators, you lead them all in every category, and for that you should be proud. The culture, the food, the customs, the traditions, you see and you feel it on Flatbush Avenue in Southeast Queens, and yes, in Spring Valley, upstate New York. And the pride we all share that Haitian leaders have ascended to some of the highest roles in government in our state. And I am particularly proud of the 2 Supreme Court justices who we just swore in. Because if we are going to make a difference in Haiti, it's really all about the rule of law, right? It's really all about the Constitution. It's about a respect for the law. It's about civility, and no one can do that better than these 2 Supreme Court justices. Laying down the line, letting everyone know that no one is above the law. And what we need now in Haiti is order and civility. And that's why it's so important that we promote these 2 Supreme Court justices. They are the pride of Haiti and the pride of New York State. The bonds between New York and the nation of Haiti is strong, my friends. And Haiti has struggled with natural and human-caused disasters, and we have grieved and we have girded ourselves to step up and to help. So what does this mean for an Attorney General? What have you done for me lately, you might ask? And for all of those who are talking to my right, I guess they're asking a question amongst themselves. It has meant that I've taken my role and my power as the Attorney General, joining with other Attorney Generals across this nation, and you should be proud. It has been primarily the Black Attorney Generals who have led this nation going forward. We've taken our responsibility to stand with the Haitian community seriously. We stood up to the former president, you know who he is. And he certainly knows my name now. When he tried to terminate the temporary protected status, or TPS, for Haitian immigrants, we showed him what was important. Because immigrant New Yorkers are critical to the economic and the cultural strength of our state. And ending this program would have put thousands of people in harm's way. Following the devastating earthquake of 2021, my office worked closely with Haitian organizations and elected officials to collect resources and provide support. We even stood up to, yes, the Biden administration when we saw how Haitian refugees were treated at the border in Texas. This is not about politics, this is about humanity.
Come on, speak now.
And the reality is, my friends, if you go to the border, you will see the grave site of those who struggled to come to this country.
Yes, sir.
In unmarked graves, all along the border.
Yes, ma'am.
Those are the individuals who are seeking to be free. We've got to breathe life into those words on the Statue of Liberty. We've got to pray for all of those who lost their lives just coming to this country. I have great respect and admiration for the President of the United States. He's done an excellent job. But I saw the devastating and disturbing photos of Border Patrol officers on horseback using whips to corral Haitian refugees that were simply seeking safety and a better life. And that needs to be called out because they were wrong. And those individuals needed to be treated with respect and humanity. And regardless of who the president is of the United States of America, as the Attorney General of the state of New York, as someone who, again, knows no fear, and the only individual that I fear is my Lord and Savior. We have an obligation to speak up when vulnerable people have not been shown the basic humanity and compassion that we are all owed. And more broadly, my office has a sacred duty to protect the legal rights of all New York residents, regardless of their country of origin or their immigration status. And I work to use the powers of my office to help and to protect all New Yorkers, including our residents of our entire state. And I'm very proud of the work that my office has done over the years to protect our immigrant communities, including my brothers and sisters from Haiti. We have carried out that mission in many ways. We went all the way to the United States Supreme Court, and we successfully stopped a question about citizenship from being added to the census. That question had not been added to the census in over 50 years. And it was so critically important that we, again, removed that question from the census. And I'm so glad that we were successful in doing just that. The DACA program, because we want children to dream. We want all individuals to dream. Individuals who deserve to live here and to strive and to achieve their dream is so critically important. We sued ICE when individuals were patrolling courthouses and people came to me and said, Tish, I just went into the courthouse because I had a domestic problem, because I was a victim of domestic abuse, and they sought to deport me. That is wrong. We went to court and we removed them from the courthouses, because the courthouses should be open to all individuals. And no one should be victimized by ICE, who basically seeks justice. But we must not rest on the laurels of the past, because the struggle for new New Yorkers and for Haitians seeking a better life here in the United States is ongoing. There must be a more robust effort to help immigrants understand the legal system and, more importantly, what rights they are afforded under the law. And I want to thank members of the legislature in Albany, Kimberly Jean-Pierre, of course, and Bernice Bouchard-Hermelin for empowering and expanding the powers of my office and giving me the ability to sue, and not only sue when I get settlement funds, to provide it to legal services all across the state of New York. Because there are Haitians right now who face the possibility of eviction. There are Haitians right now who need government services, and unfortunately, they cannot speak English. There are Haitians right now who need food. There are Haitians who need child care. There are Haitians who need so many services. And thanks to the powers of the legislature, they said give Tish more power so that she can use the law both as a sword and as a shield to shield them from any dangers in this country. And we will continue to use the powers that have been given to us, the broad powers, to help immigrants navigate the system. And I'm looking forward to fund more legal services all over the city and all over the state of New York, and I thank them. To empower them, but also to lift them up as well. The Haitian community in New York and throughout the entire United States is vast, it's vibrant, incredible organization is working to advance the Haitian-American community through economic empowerment and civic engagement. So you see, it's really critically important that we understand that economic stability is tied to also making sure that you have your own business. Small businesses are a key to our growing democracy and the vibrancy of our economy. And it's important that we give tools to small businesses so that they can survive, expand, and grow. Yes, yes, yes. So if you believe in supporting small business, and particularly businesses owned by Haitians, make some noise. The number one employer in this country is not government, it's small business. They're the engine, the lifeblood of this economy. We've got to support small businesses, make sure that they thrive. And I thank all the small businesses who are here today. And that is why I'm so honored to be speaking with all of you today. And to be at this conference to learn about more ways that we can work together and some of the challenges that the Haitian community continues to face. This year ahead will continue to present unique challenges, particularly at a time when 2024 is beyond us. And we cannot go backwards. We've got to continue to stay the course. And I need all of you on the ground to empower individuals, to educate individuals, to register people to vote, and let individuals know about this wonderful organization here. And more importantly, to raise our young children and to hold our young children in our arms and to educate them about the cultures and the traditions of the Haitian community. We cannot lose that past. We must maintain that connection. And so, I want to thank each and every one of you for having me here today. I look forward to the next conference in Miami. And it's an honor and a privilege to be with each and every one of you as we celebrate the rich culture of the Haitian community. God bless you.
Wonderful, big round of applause. Merci à pile pour mon parole, ça y est, mes amis, c'est commencé. Merci à pile, thank you so much. At this time, I want to be a big acknowledgement for this conference cannot be possible, and I call it the tri-state area rather than just New Jersey. And I want to give a big shout out for all of our New Jersey elected officials here. Honorable Maxim Lelays, please make some noise. Honorable Michelle Davis-Ford, Honorable Senator Ron, Honorable Charlene Batelus, Honorable Louis Santelus, Honorable Joe Sylvain, Honorable Devontae Muscat. Thank you so much for all the work. And as you heard, the Connecticut is as part of the Tri-State. Honorable Diana Revolus, Honorable Francis Jean-Louis. Tri-State area was very important to make sure we get this together. But this cannot be possible without all of you. Florida? Yes. So as we get to the next level, I want to call our chair of the retreat. It was not easy to make sure that we did this. Yes. But that vision to honor all of our past chair was very important because the job starts with you and we're going to continue moving forward. Thank you. So ensemble, so what we're going to do right now, we're going to work on the honoring. I'm going to call our vice chair to help out. Yes.
I just want to thank our Attorney General. Wasn't that wonderful? I mean, this was so, I hope it was inspiring for you. We thought that it was, we need to learn to honor the people that have served. And I thank you for the service that you have done. Without you, we wouldn't be here. And so we're going to just go ahead and give you your flowers while you're alive. So the first one will be our founder, Ayisyen-Ameriken. And then Honorable Joseph Champagne. All right, Honorable Victoria Flip-Sibley. Andre Pierre, our former mayor of the great city of North Miami. Last but not least, believe it or not, my political mentor, even though we fight like cats and dogs, a man that actually brought me into the fold to serve. And I give a lot of people credit, but he's a person that said, hey, I think you should come help me with my campaign. Hey, I think you should run. Hey, I think you should do these things. And so it's, thank you again. Honorable John. All right, I think we have a presentation. Is the presentation ready yet?
At this time, we want to call all of our honorary with our keynote speaker to have a few pictures in front. Yes, with our
Mais faut phase 21 jours. Après phase 21 jours ça, je ne pas devant eux, je ne pas reconnaître moi. Parce que moi je viens avec lumière, non moi-même que qui parle pour moi. C'est pas moi-même qui parle encore. Lumière dans moi-même n'a changé caractéristique toute bagaille. Qu'on y a moi viens remettre tout le monde. Moi viens garder tout le monde comme pour tout. C'est comme pour moi-même yo yé. Les garder yo moi c'est maman, moi son papa, moi son frère, moi son soeur. Ça veut dire que les ouvrir bouche ouais. Mais pas qu'à condamner aucun monde qui sous table là, mais pas qu'à condamner nous. Parce que nous tous nous n'en sommes, nous toutes, c'est famille, moi. Moi, je suis ici à 17 ans. Je ne jamais entendu une politicien haïtien volé. Nous n'avons pas jamais droit pour les gens parler mal avec moi. C'est ça que fait l'homme te camper à raisonnable. Pourquoi moi? Je ne vais pas dire non? Non, you do. Je camper pourquoi moi à raisonnable? Ça seulement te gagné, c'est nos haïtiens seulement. Et là, on met tel dans la télévision, là, on met tel dans le papier, là, on met tel dans la recherche, tout pareil. Il n'y a pas jamais vu un haïtien qui te peut voler. All right! Nous merci en pile. Nous disons merci en pile, tout ça qui est allé avant nous. Tout ça qui est poussé pour moi. Tout ça qui est tombé sur le shoulder pour nous. Nous disons merci. Chapeau!
Tout le monde, parfait, qui veut chuter pour nous battre.
Thank you. Councilman, one thing I have always said, when it comes to campaigning, all the money people are sitting on this table here, right? So let us know when is the next election.
Nous avons élection Kounia.
Okay, when is it?
Nous avons élection Kounia 23-24. 23-24, nous avons élection.
When is it? November?
2020, August.
August 2024.
Yes.
Okay.
Dans l'élection. Let us know.
And August 2024.
We can start our fundraising tonight, guys.
August 2024. Let us know. And we are ready to come to Arizona.
All right. Oh, no,
yes. We can Well, we're gonna recognize a great leader in our community, and I'm gonna have to go through.
Can't hear you, AD.
I'm gonna recognize a great leader in our community, and basically, I owe my entire political career to that person. Okay. Someone I have known for over 30 years. We've been fighting and basically helping this community. After we have done the Obama campaign, and this person somehow, some shape, called me out of the blue, right? And said, hey, we're done with the Obama campaign. I want you to run for mayor for the great city of North Miami. Yes, just like that. I had no idea, I had no interest. I was a lawyer, doing well in this community, representing the folks that were coming in, and I got this phone call early in the morning, and I'm like, what do you mean? I'm not a politician. So I called my wife, and I called my wife when she was at school. She was like, is she serious? I was like, I just got the call. She wanted me to run for mayor for the great city of North Miami. I had no idea. So please help me recognize your county commissioner, Madam Ayisyen. Okay, and I told my wife, and I told a lot of people that I was supporting. If there's one person in this world that I should mortgage my house for, okay, to give the money. She knows that. If there's one person I should mortgage my house for to get the money so she could run an effective campaign, was Madam Ayisyen. Okay? And I have said that candidates that I was supporting, my wife said the same thing, and people were upset, you know, what's going on. I said, no. Okay? Yo toujours dit comme ça que moun qui change. Not only on that day, I remember it right after the Obama campaign, I think the next day that I got that phone call, maybe early in the morning, 10 o'clock in the morning, I remember sitting in the office, then I called my wife immediately after that. But before 2008, we spent about 20 years in this community, right? Okay, fighting. You know, every time there's something going on 79th Street, Marlon will call me. Hey, Andre, look at what I found out if I say, you know, hey, la commencé le second kaka, la second kaka, la miskin, very miskin, la bouteille de soin de la. I mean, I was just a young boy, I'm like, okay, what is she talking about, you know, doing what? I was there. Then, every once in a while, I get a call about, hey, go to your life, you just want to live every time. Go on Lakay, look at Texas, look at Puerto Rico. All of that, you know, 30 years of service in this community. Marlon, I have thanked you publicly before, I'm doing it again. Privately, thank you so much for your work of 41 years in this community.
Haitian community leaders when we know that they deserve it. This is not a politic. This is a Lakay we put together in the spur of the moment to recognize those who need their flowers. So, before we get to our commissioner, the esteemed commissioner, the Honorable Marlon Bastien, I would like to recognize the chairwoman of Global Innovative Foundation, Bernadette Pierre, past president. Okay, I'm not going to be long. I just wanted to add one more into what Andrea has said about the commissioner, which we all know her by Marlene. Not only that when Andrea was running, in our community, we have created this establishment where you have to kiss the ring another 4 people to accept it. I recall there was one person that we did not have to kiss the ring. Because as a matter of fact, when we were running our campaign, and like Dorothy said, it is okay, and it's fine, you can do whatever you want, but you need to understand that after election, everything is over. You gotta go back to your community and put it behind you. Once you do that, then we are going to help. We are going to move forward and become a better community. Marlon also, when we were having, you know, hey, we young, we didn't know anybody within the community. Everybody has been there for years. And then who are you? The question was asked, who are you? You think you're gonna become a mayor or what? But other people have done X, Y, and Z. And she said, don't worry, you don't need to do this no way. You just have to go out there and do the work. And then, you know, and I have to say, you know, I thank you. And guess what? Your hard work of 41 years, you already know. That's what you get.
Voilà, nous un vieux autographe hôtel dans New Jersey, côté que nous avons assisté à Sandra Cabrele annual retreat de NHAEON, qui c'est National Ayisyen-Ameriken Elected Officials Network. Donc c'est un groupe de personnalités politiques, communautaires qui est réuni là. Chaque monde a parlé de réalisation, chaque monde fait la communauté. Donc nous sommes des former First Lady of the great city of North Miami, City North Miami, yes. Bernadette Pierre qui s'est parlé là, et qui André Pierre qui était parlé tout, plusieurs autres monde parlé. Donc on a continué à faire nous vivre. Belle rencontre ça, que la communauté haïtienne, plusieurs élus haïtiens-américains réunis dans autographe hôtel in New Jersey. Et comme je dis que c'est un événement annuel que NHAEON, National Ayisyen-Ameriken Elected Official Network organisé. Donc je dis à là, c'est vendredi, demain c'est le grand jour. Après-midi, il y a plusieurs sessions et donc demain, après plusieurs sessions de la matinée, surtout dans la soirée, ce sera le grand coup. Dans la mesure que c'est demain soir, ça nous relève Gala, belle bagaille, et tu as en fait apprendre que c'est la formation classe au groupe qui est basé en Floride qui va animer. Donc, je continue à faire nous vivre plusieurs autres personnalités qui ont parlé, même nous pour la plupart, les qui là, ce sont des élus haïtiens-américains qui ont parlé, mesdames et messieurs. Ici, des salles Ferdinand, on continue sur l'ensemble.
Pour m'expliquer un petit peu de Marlène Basse. Excusez. You guys still talking? Oh my
The name was amended by Refleksyon. Gade la lè ou di parè, ou kote, tout moun honoré ou di.
Je m'en suis depuis longtemps moi-même. songe, c'est peut-être en 92. Le par contre qui s'accueille dans la communauté, mais on voit une fuite et une chou, et une mal des c'était le plus gros événement pour nous comme Haïtiens, pour jouer nous à sur le podium pour voir une fuite. On parle de ça. Donc, c'est pas ça encore. L'année passée, passé de présentation. And I'm not even going to say because I think Andre said it all.
That's right.
Marlene called me and says, Jeff, I'm running for office. And when she says that she likes people to tell her the truth, and I was one of them that came and tell her the truth. I say, Marlene, you know that what you're about to enter into is pretty serious. We know the Marlene, the advocate. And the advocate is not going to work in this particular case. We need to hang up the hat of the advocate. We want the Marlene Bastion who's going to be pro-business, who's going to meet the needs of the constituent of District 2. And she checks with us all the time how we do it in this sense. It was almost natural for me to put my support behind Marlene. It was natural when she called and I'm gonna do this. But I tell you, Marlene, you are the very first person that I come out for publicly. Publicly to say I'm supporting you.
That's right.
Very first person publicly I come out for. It's the very first campaign I actually work. Not just write a check, but I work. And I took that advice from my good friend here, Andre Pierre. I want you to know that. Andre Pierre sat me down and I said, Andre, I'm going to run, I'm going to support Marlene. You got to be very strategic how you support. You got to publicly come out and you support. It's not just writing checks. And if you need to you need to sit down with Marlene, go to dinner with Marlene, and tell Marlene this is what you want to do for her. That was sound advice from Andre Pierre. And that's why at any time you call, it was a mandate for me to go out and try to get the support that I needed to make sure your campaigns stay funded and stay alive. All right? That's right. But aswa se fleur d'une baille moun ta honorer le monde de la cour et Marlene mette très bas de bon pour m'honorer. Très bas.
Coalition can be embroiled in a continuous instability and disorder and disarray. The reason why I'm telling you that right now is that to ask you to open your eyes. Let us consider this life as beyond NHAEON's 2023 Leadership Conference. Let us continue this conversation to find a way to present to those in power who see Haiti as a threat, to find a way to impress upon them what should be done and how we can work together for the benefit of those G8 members, right? They can get whatever they need, but giving Haiti a chance and I'm including the chance to cry, the chance to grieve, a chance for our people to be able to be free of fear, for our people to live as human beings, for our people to stop being humiliated in the Dominican Republic, for our people to stop being humiliated in National Bahamas, for our people to stop being humiliated in Mexico. I've been at the border several times. For our people, the people was so generous. So generous. We need to continue this là-tout. Pas camper là. Continuer. Garder quantité valeur. Garder quantité expertise. Garder quantité intelligence qu'il a aujourd'hui. Guys, I'm going to end on that note. We can and we shall.
We want to give you your flowers while you're here. So here to Gypsy Nicholas. Smell your Next. I don't know about Cuba, but in Florida, one of the most powerful couples that we have in Florida is Ayiti and Gade. I drank to that. This couple walk the talk. Oh yes. Oh yes. They lead by example. Yes. And they mean what they say, and they support and build their community. 100. I'm sitting next to another greatness. My sister, my colleague, Jeff is not here, but if we have to say, Jeff's not here right now. So you're gonna embrace yourself. But you know, they are the most beautiful, supportive couple, powerful couple. Thank you. Community-minded, supporting and raising the young. For those of you who don't know Jeff, Jeff was the chairman of Gade, and he came up with this project called the Yokos, and he empowers so many young women. I'm a proud one. Okay. Gypsy, as we said, is an icon for all of us. Come on. She had the class of fellows,
And we know how impactful those fellows have been. But what I want to say today, besides one of the most powerful, Lakay Ayiti, but back to Rudy. Let me stand Rudy.
Yeah, just stand up.
They have paid me to say this.
Yeah, all right.
Dr. Moise. Rudy.
For us.
Because you
Hood up.
everybody
Everybody stand up.
everybody stand up.
Everybody stand up.
No, everybody stand up except you.
Yeah. Oh my God.
This is someone who has served for Rudy. He has served our country.
Yep. Thank you.
Come on, everybody. He's one of the most powerful businessmen in South Florida.
That's right.
Come on. When you knock, he is the only person I know in South Florida. When you knock, even if he doesn't have a whole lot, he said, I'm going to support you.
Yes. He never says no.
He never says no to the community. And he is a star.
Yes, right.
A movie star.
Oh, yeah. Hold on. Did you see him at the BET Award?
And the most stylish.
That's right.
GQ.
That's right.
Doctor we have in South Florida.
That's right.
There's more. Did you know aesthetics?
Yes, that's right.
Comprehensive help. Listen, he didn't pay me to say this, but Rudy, guys, I need to say this. You want to talk about supporting the Haitian Nurses Association?
Yep.
Rudy gave $10,000. Oh, that's Rudy. He's the one that helped. He said, when I called him, I said, Rudy, we need to create the first Haitian-American Nurses Journal because we don't have a journal. And we're still waiting for the funds because they asked us for 25 and we're still waiting to get the other 15. He says, Maggie, I can't do nothing for you, but come to my office on Monday, come get the 10,000. I drove, Maggie, here's the 10,000. Come on. Yeah. Now we have all of the Hannah chapters here to see who this man is. That's right. God has sent him over here so we can acknowledge you, so we can say how much we love and appreciate you. Thank you so much. Create you as a human being. And for those of you who don't know, do I know your wife?
Don't know why.
I was.
He's my professor.
I don't get that. But the point is that when we call him Dr. Rudolph Moise, Comprehensive Health, Aesthetic, he's always there. And when you have someone who supports the community like he does, he has to be acknowledged. Yes. Thank you. Okay, and by the way, he is going to be honored by Global Innovative Foundation on March 24th at the building. Because of his, not only because he's powerful, but because of a loving heart that he has for the community. He has helped a lot of the community about HIV education, prevention, you name it. Guys, let's get Rudy.
For your presence. I hope that you learned a whole lot, and I wish you safe travels for some of you that will be leaving early. But guess what? Bishop Gregory Toussaint has a word for you.
I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, for the most part in Crown Heights,
in Brooklyn, New York. So I grew up in Brooklyn, New York. And when I was growing up in Crown Heights in Brooklyn, one of the things that always amazed me was how the Jewish community worked well together and functioned together. And I kept asking myself, you know, what's the secret to their success? What's their secret to them having such a strong community? And I came to realize, in reality, it's a verse in the Bible they happened to believe in when they were becoming a nation. God called them and told them, I have made you a holy nation. Which means that Jews, wherever they go around the world, they function as a nation. They function as a nation within a nation. It doesn't matter if they are not whether they are in their country or not. You go, whether they are in Brooklyn, in Crown Heights in Brooklyn, or Ventura, or wherever they may be, they function as a nation within a nation. Now comes the question, what do we really mean? When we say a nation within a nation, what do we mean by nation? I think there are 4 words that we often confuse. It's the words people, country, state, and nation. And those 4 words are not the same thing. You know, sometimes we say of people, you know, we talk about the American people, we talk about the United States of America, and you know, we tend to see these as synonymous, but it's not necessarily true. So let me just establish the difference real quick. Number 1, when we talk about people, when we talk about the American people, you can actually count the American people. If you count the population, you actually count the American people. You could count them. When we talk about the people, it's the collective population. Now, you can actually count them. The country is different. When we talk about countryside, you're really talking about the land. You can actually measure the country. So you can say the country of the United States, whatever, it's, you know, it's got border with Mexico, etc., and Canada. That's the country. And then we talk about state. The people, really the population. The country is actually the land. The state is basically institutions. The institutions that allow us to function in an organized manner. Now, of course, when we talk about the state, of course, it has the political apparatus in it. We talk about Congress, and we talk about all the executive branch. We talk about the Department of Education and Finance and Agriculture, etc. It's all of those institutions that allow us to function in an organized manner. But none of that is really the nation. The nation is not really the people per se. The nation is not the country. The nation is not the state. So what is a nation exactly? Well, the nation is the link of brotherhood that exists between the different people who occupy a land. So you can count the people, you can measure the country, you can identify the institution of the state, but a nation is abstract. It's a link of brotherhood. It's a link of fraternity. It's the sense of family that unites a people that turns them into a nation. And one of the things that I had said, of course, I carry Haiti in my heart, as someone who came from Haiti. And I said, one of the major problems we have in Haiti, yes, we have a country, yes, we have a state, and some, there are different opinions about that. Some may even say failed state, but whatever, it exists. But I think one of the biggest issues that we have is really becoming a nation, cultivating that sense of brotherhood. So the Jews have managed to be a nation within a nation. If you can have that sense of brotherhood, it doesn't matter where you are, you will continue to function as one. So comes the question now, okay, what is it, what turns a group of separate people, distinct people into one, so they can function as a nation and so they can function as a community. Well, the secret is found in a book in the Bible called the Book of Ruth. The Book of Ruth is pretty interesting because it is preceded by a book in the Bible called the Book of Judges. And in the Book of Judges, all you see is chaos, people fighting against one another, etc. Civil war. If you read the Book of Judges and you compare it with what's going on in Haiti right now, you will realize that Israel, about 1,000 years ago, was exactly in the same situation as Haiti.